This troubleshooting video is to help resolve the problem of your printer only printing text and numbers, which is actually PostScript information, when using MultiRIP. To begin with, it's important to understand how MultiRIP works. An illustration of MultiRIP is you'll start off with your front-end application. Could be CorelDRAW, Photoshop, QuarkXPress, or etc. When you go File, Print, and you send it to a specific printer in Photoshop, it'll actually drop it into Windows PostScript driver, which then will be bounced to our PowerRIP hot folder. From the PowerRIP hot folder, the RIP will periodically check that and pick it up, turn it into a PostScript, and then send it to our PowerRIP output queue. The output queue is what then will bounce it to the specific printer port for your printer. This will become a lot easier to understand as we go through. To begin with, what I'd like you to do is first go to your Start button and then go to your Control panel. Although this might look a little bit different between Vista and XP, if you come up into Vista and click on the Classic view, it'll bring up all of the same icons that you're typically used to in XP. What you'll want to do is go down to the Printers folder, or also known as the Printers and Faxes folder. By going into this folder, you'll see the list of all of the printers installed on your computer. What we're going to do is we're going to set the ports properly for the Epson Stylish Pro 4800 and the MultiRIP Stylish Pro 4800. The first thing we want to do is we want to find the Epson Stylish Pro 4800. Click on it just once, and then right-click over it. You should see a selection down at the bottom referred to as Properties. When you click on the Properties button, it'll bring up the Epson Stylish Pro 4800 Properties window. And in that window, one of the tabs will be listed as Ports. If you click on Ports, we'd like to find out what the Epson Stylish Pro 4800 port is. A lot of times this is listed as a USB port, depending on how your printer is connected to your computer. In some cases, in this case, you'll notice that our printer is selected to COM1, which is a serial port. Sometimes the name of the printer is actually covered up for the port. And a lot of times that happens when the port column is not fully expanded over. To move that port column, all you have to do is put your cursor in between the word port and description on the vertical line. Your cursor will then turn into a crosshair, left click down and drag it over to the right and release. Now you'll be able to fully see the name of the port that it's associated with. Now that we know that COM1 is the port associated with the Epson Stylish Pro 4800, the next thing we need to do is go and find the PowerRIP output queue that's associated with your printer. In this case, the 4800 printer is associated with output Q1. We're going to do exactly the same process that we did before. We're going to right-click over it, go to Properties. In the PowerRIP output Q1 window, we'll click on the Ports tab, and we'll notice in this case it is associated with LPT1. This is the incorrect port, thus we need to click on COM1. By clicking on it once, you'll notice that it unchecks the LPT1 port and checks the COM1 port. Come to the bottom right corner, click Apply, and then hit OK. Now that we have the output queue associated with the Epson 4800, we now just need to double check our MultiRIP Stylish Pro 4800 port and the Easy Die Sub and Easy Transfers. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. Right click, go down to Properties, find the Port tab, come over, and this time we want the port to be associated with PowerRIP Server. And this is properly checked. The majority of the time this will be defaulted when installing MultiRIP. We will do exactly the same thing for the Easy Die Sub and the Easy Transfer printers as well. Once you have everything associated with the correct port, you should be able to send a print job and not have the issue of getting PostScript that just comes out. For more information, check our user form where these same steps and processes are laid out in a step-by-step fashion.